Hi guys, it's Miss Harvey Zank and I in her classroom today.
Yay!
We decided that we missed each other lots and we wanted to meet each other at the school to do a fun lesson together for you. I hope you had a chance to read Knock Knock Teremok or watch the story of us reading Knock Knock Teremok and maybe review the story of the Mitten. Now we are going to do some comparing of the two stories. And we are going to take some ideas here and you're going to use them for a little bit of writing later on.
So we've got a Venn diagram here, and a Venn diagram we have used before, but just to review, especially if mums and dads aren't familiar with them, we use them to compare two items. So what goes in the middle where the circles overlap is what is the same. So we're going to talk about what is the same about the story The Mitten and Knock Knock Teremok. And then what is on each side and separate is what is unique to that story or that item that you're talking about. So we're going to walk you through a Venn diagram for both stories, and then you're going to use the ideas we've generated to write your own sentences. As Ms. McLeod was talking about, we use a Venn diagram to generate ideas and organize our writing. And so this is something that you don't need to follow along with. You don't need to do the writing for this.
Yeah.
You're going to use what we've written to do your writing exercise after.
And this is going to make your writing activity a lot easier because we are kind of helping you with the planning. So follow along with us.
Perfect.
So I'm going to put, I have a really good memory, I'm going to put the Mitten up here, and this will be the Mitten side, if that's okay, Mrs. Harzing.
Perfect. So I need to put Knock Knock Teremok up here, and this will be the Knock Teremok side.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to think back to the Mitten. I know that there were animals in both. Tell me if I'm right. I think that the Mitten had an owl.
Yes.
Yes.
But Knock Knock Teremok did not have an owl.
No.
But Knock Knock Teremok had a fly, and the Mitten didn't have a fly.
Nope, no fly.
Yeah.
Okay, let me think what else. More animals. Ooh, I remember talking about this kind of animal because lots of students didn't really know what kind of animal it was. A mole. He's like a little rodent that lives under the ground. There wasn't a mole in the Knock Knock Teremok.
Nope. And let me think. Oh, there was a pig and in Knock Knock Teremok, and there was not a pig in the Mitten.
Good one. Ooh. Let's think of an animal that's in both.
Yeah.
Do you remember an animal that's in both?
Well, a little one. A little teeny weeny.
Ooh. A mouse!
Yes.
A mouse. I'll fill it in. There was a mouse in both books.
There was also a hare,
Oh yeah.
and I think they called it a rabbit. Did they call it a rabbit or a hare in the Mitten?
Ooh, I forget that.
I'm not sure, but same animal, you know.
Yeah. I remember when we read The Mitten, Mrs. Harvey Zink, it was about a little boy who went on a little bit of a walk and he had dropped his one mitten.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember in the book that there was snow everywhere. So I'm going to say that it was winter. That was part of the setting in the Mitten.
Yes.
What was the setting in Knock Knock Teremok? Was it the same? Was it winter?
Well, when I looked at the illustrations at the bottom of Knock Knock Teremok, I could see flowers and plants growing, and that told me we don't usually have flowers growing in the winter.
No.
So it could be spring, it could be summer. So
let's put spring/summer.
okay, spring.
And those branches looked kind of
or
yeah,
summer.
nice and fresh to build a little hut out of.
Cool.
Okay. I think in the Mitten, actually I know, there were 8 characters.
Yes. And characters, of course, are the people or the animals that happen in the story.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we have 9 characters, 9 animals that are the characters in Knock Knock Teremok. So one more. So that's a little bit different.
A little bit different.
Now, what about the character, though, at the end of the story?
I know. I was just thinking. Or the boy. Do we count the boy? I remember there being 8 animals.
Oh, and there's Baba in the Mitten, the boy's
Yeah.
grandmother.
So that could be +2. So it might still
What's
be
8
different.
plus 2, guys? Oh, it's a 10 friend. That's right. It adds up to 10. So 8 plus 2, we actually have 10 characters in the Mitten.
There
Yeah.
we go. Okay.
Now, the character at the end of both stories, we have a bear.
Mm-hmm.
And so could that go in the middle?
I think so, yep.
So there is a bear.
Now, in both of the stories, all of the animals have to get out or something happens at the end where their house is no longer a house. I remember in the Mitten, because we did it and we put all the kids in that mitten?
Yes.
And it stretched, and I remember at the end of the story that it stretched and ripped apart and everybody tumbled out.
Yes.
I don't think that in Knock Knock Teremok nothing stretched or ripped.
The Teremok didn't stretch. What happened, boys and girls, the bear came on top. So in the Mitten, it was that little mouse, and he was tickling the bear's whiskers, and then he sneezed, the bear sneezed. And then, but in Knock Knock Teremok, the bear came on top and squashed the Teremok. So I'm going to write the Teremok,
And I'll write maybe
was squashed. Q-U, there they are. Remember they got married? Squashed. And I'm going to have to squash this word in. So there we go, squashed.
the mitten was stretched or ripped.
Perfect. All right. And you know what? Even though when we were talking about the setting, and we said it was spring or summer, and in the Mitten it was winter, even though there are 2 different seasons, they both happened in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just different seasons in the woods. So that could go in the middle because it's the same
Good one.
woods. Okay.
Okay. Oh, I remember one more animal. I think that there was a fox in the Mitten. And in Terror.
Oh, you're
Knock
right.
Knock,
There was in both.
the sly fox. Anything else? You think you could just use your brain, think back to that Mitten, think if there's anything else.
Do you know what the theme of the story? And I'm thinking, the theme of the story. Like, what was the problem or the theme in both stories, Miss McLeod? Stories always have a problem.
I think that they were all looking for a house.
Yeah, they needed a home.
They needed a home.
So we could write that. Looking. So look, and then I'm going to add in looking for a home.
And you know what? What else I learned from you this year is that both of those books are called folk tales.
Yes.
Do you know what a folk tale is to explain to them?
Yeah, folktales, boys and girls, are stories that have come from a long time ago. They get passed down and passed down. Often they're even told orally, and orally means like told kind of with your mouth. I might tell a story to me instead of reading a story. I might tell a story, and so those folk tales have come from a long, long time ago. Often from different countries. I know the Mitten is a Ukrainian tale from the Ukraine, and Knock Knock Teremok is from Russia. It's a Russian tale, and so what happens is those folk tales they change a little bit, but they all are a little bit similar, and then some authors decide to write them down. So Jan Brett didn't make up the story of the Mitten. She took the folk tale and made her own version. And Katya Arnold didn't make up Knock Knock Teremok. She took the old story and she wrote it. So that's why it says from a traditional folk tale, because that author is saying, I didn't make up this story. It's an old story that's come from years and years and years ago in different countries.
And I bet you if you asked your parents, they could tell you some folk tales that they learned about or heard when they were a kid, and they probably have a favorite folk tale.
Absolutely.
So
Okay.
boys and girls, we're going to make sure that we're out of the picture here for this, because you're going to pause the video pretty soon on this Venn diagram, and you are going to do a little bit of writing with this information. Now, we are going to write out the instructions for you, so you don't have to keep listening to our video, but we are going to write at least 3 sentences about the information that we came up with on this Venn diagram. Mrs. Harvey-Zink and I will attach an example of what we kind of want you to write, but you are going to need to pause your video on this information.
Excellent. And we know that we'll give you those instructions, but remember, if you're a person who has a hard time writing down the words, it's okay to tell moms and dads that what you want them to write, and so they can do the writing for you if you're having a hard time, or you can share the job. I write a word, you write a word, and maybe you don't get all 3 of those sentences done, maybe you shorten it up. But if you're a person who can challenge yourself, it's the opposite. Then you want to be making sure you're doing all the writing, or maybe even challenging yourself to do more.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know about that grade 2s, that when we do assignments or writing assignments, I would always love for you to challenge yourself a little bit more.
Great.
Great. Okay, I think we're done.
Good luck, everybody.
Bye.